The sky above Perosia glowed like liquid fire. Rivers of molten lava cut through black stone like glowing veins, sending sparks and embers into the air. The heat was intense, almost unbearable. Yet life thrived here in ways no other world could imagine. Plants with leaves like molten metal swayed near the edges of lava streams. Strange creatures with scales and flames darted across the rocks. Princess Kalara stood on a high cliff, her fiery skin shining brighter than the glowing rivers below. Her long hair flickered like flames in the hot wind. She looked over her kingdom with pride. No one had ever dared challenge her. No one had ever crossed her path without fear. She was the strongest, the most beautiful, and the most untouchable in all of Pyrotia. Yet today something unusual caught her sharp eyes. A strange object fell from the sky, crashing into the lava fields below. The impact sent a cloud of ash and fire into the air. Kalara's eyes narrowed. Visitors from other worlds were rare and humans were forbidden. But she felt curiosity stir inside her, a feeling she had not felt in centuries. A human ship, battered and smoking, had landed precariously on a rocky plateau. From it emerged a figure, tall and lean, moving carefully across the burning stones. The human did not stumble despite the heat. He did not scream despite the smoke. His dark uniform clung to him, scorched in places, yet his eyes held focus and determination. Kalara descended from her cliff, her glowing feet leaving trails of light on the rocks. She appeared before him suddenly like a flame rising from the earth. The human froze, wide-eyed, and stared at her. His gaze moved over her fiery skin, the burning hair, the golden eyes that shone like molten metal. He had heard legends of Perosia, but nothing could have prepared him for this. Who dares step on Perosian soil? Kalara's voice was calm but carried the power of flowing lava. Every word seemed to vibrate through the ground. I am Captain Rian, the human replied, his voice steady despite the danger. I did not mean to land here. I was escaping. Pirates, Kalara studied him. His face was scratched, his hands were scorched, yet there was no fear in his eyes. That was unusual. Most creatures trembled at her presence. Most humans would have fled or burned, but he had survived the landing and he had not screamed. You are lucky, Kalara said, her tone both warning and curious. Luck alone will not save you here. I am aware, Rian said, bowing slightly, showing respect. But I do not rely only on luck. I try to survive, and to learn. Kalara raised an eyebrow. Curiosity sparked. She had ruled Perosia for centuries. She had seen travelers from many worlds, and most were foolish, weak, or greedy. But this human, there was something different. Something in his spirit. You will not last long, she said, her voice like a rumble of a distant volcano. The lava, the heat, the creatures, they will test you and you may fail. I will try, Rian said simply. Failure is part of learning. Kalara tilted her head, intrigued. No alien had ever spoken to her with such calm confidence. Most bowed or screamed. Most pleaded for mercy. But he stood there even in the heat, even in the danger, as if he belonged on Pyrosia. You will come with me, Kalara said, or you will die alone in the lava fields. Choose quickly. Rian hesitated for a fraction of a second, then nodded. I will follow you. Kalara led him through the molten landscape. She moved like fire itself, leaping across rivers of lava, stepping on stones that glowed white-hot. Rian followed, using the agility and resourcefulness that only humans seem to possess. He used small tools to anchor himself on jagged rocks and moved with care. Kalara watched silently, impressed. Most humans would have burned in the first steps. You are stronger than I expected, she said, her voice softening slightly. Most would not last 10 minutes. I have learned to adapt, Rian replied. My world is harsh too, though not like yours. We survive by thinking fast and moving carefully. Kalara nodded. This human had courage, not the reckless courage of youth, but the quiet, steady courage of someone who had faced death many times and had survived. They reached the edge of a high cliff overlooking a river of lava. Kalara stopped and turned to him. Many creatures live in the lava rivers. Some are small, some are deadly. You must learn to respect them. You cannot fight all of them. You cannot control all of Perosia. Only those who understand the fire can survive it. I understand, Rian said. I will try to respect it. Kalara's eyes softened. She had never seen a human like this. Most humans were loud, arrogant, or cowardly. This one, he was different. Perhaps he could survive here longer than anyone else. Perhaps he could even impress her. Very well, she said. You will rest here tonight. Tomorrow we will see if you truly have the courage to walk the Inferno path. It is a sacred trail. No human has ever survived it. Ryan's eyes widened slightly. I will try. Kelara allowed herself a small smile. Good, courage is more than strength. It is the willingness to face fire and fear alike. You may have that, human. That night they camped near a safe hot spring. Kelara watched him as he ate simple rations, cleaned his tools, and examined the surrounding area. He moved with care, aware of the dangers, but he did not panic. Kelara found herself curious, even fascinated by him. Most humans would never come this far, she said, her voice soft and thoughtful. Most humans do not have to, Rian replied. We survive because we are willing to try, even when the odds are against us. We make choices and we face them. Kelara nodded slowly. This human had a quality she respected. He did not rely on power alone. He did not demand attention or fear. He had courage and mind both, something rare among visitors. The stars above Perosia were bright, but the planet's own light, the rivers, the embers, the molten rocks, shone brighter. Kelara looked at Ryan and wondered, could a human ever truly belong here? Could someone from another world survive, not just physically but in heart and spirit? She did not know yet, but she wanted to find out. The night passed without incident, though the lava around them rumbled and hissed. Ryan slept lightly, always alert. Kelara stayed awake, watching, listening. She felt a spark of something she had not felt in centuries, a spark of curiosity, perhaps even admiration. The next morning, the sun of Perosia rose, glowing red and gold. Kelara stood and extended her hand to Ryan. It is time, she said. The Inferno path awaits. If you survive, you will have earned my respect. If you fail, you will not be found. Ryan took her hand without hesitation. I am ready. Kelara felt a strange sense of excitement. Most who walked the Inferno path were either her allies or her enemies. This human was neither. He was something new, something she had never expected. She felt a flicker of hope. Hope that perhaps this human could survive where others failed. And so, they began their journey. The lava rivers hissed below. The heat pressed against their bodies, and the Pyrosian creatures watched silently from a distance. Every step was dangerous. Every breath carried risk. But Rian walked forward without fear, his mind sharp and his spirit steady. Kelara walked beside him, her eyes never leaving. The morning sun rose over Perosia like molten gold, bathing the volcanic landscape in a fierce light. The air shimmered with heat, and the rivers of lava glowed angrily beneath the cliffs. Princess Kelara led Captain Ryan to the edge of a vast canyon, a place she called the Inferno Path. This is where most fail, she said, her golden eyes reflecting the molten rivers. The path is sacred. It tests not only strength but courage, patience, and respect for Perosia. Few have ever completed it. Ryan looked down at the jagged canyon below. Heat waves rose in turbulent ripples, and strange creatures scuttled along the molten rocks, their shells glinting like fire. I will try, he said simply, his eyes steady, not with fear but with focus. Kelara studied him. Humans often spoke of bravery, but few showed it. Yet Ryan did. He did not tremble at the heat, did not panic at the sight of molten rivers or the strange fiery creatures. She felt a strange admiration for him. Then follow me, she said, stepping onto the first stone of the canyon. It glowed white-hot, yet Kelara's feet touched it without harm. Ryan followed carefully, using a small tool to anchor himself against the rough rock. The heat threatened to burn him, but he moved with precision, watching Kelara's steps and calculating his own. The canyon was narrow, and the path twisted dangerously. Smoke rose from cracks in the rocks, and molten streams flowed unpredictably. Every step demanded attention. A single misstep could mean death. Kelara noticed his determination. Most humans would have panicked, but Ryan adapted quickly. He used nearby rocks to balance, leaped carefully over small lava streams, and avoided the glowing creatures that scuttled near the edges. You move well, Kelara said, her voice carrying over the roar of the canyon. But this is only the beginning. The Inferno path tests your mind as well as your body. Ryan nodded. I understand. I will stay alert. They moved deeper into the canyon. The walls rose like towering flames and the air grew hotter. Strange creatures larger than before emerged from crevices and shadows. Their eyes glowed like embers and their shells reflected the fiery light. They hissed and clicked, warning intruders to stay away. Ryan did not attack. He knew that fighting would waste energy and could provoke the creatures. Instead, he moved carefully, observing them. predicting their paths and choosing the safest route. Kailara watched in silent amazement. Most aliens would have attacked immediately, but he understood something vital: respect for life, even in a hostile world. Hours passed. The canyon grew more treacherous. Lava streams twisted like molten snakes and smoke choked the air. Ryan's uniform was scorched in places, but his determination never faltered. He paused only to check his footing and to catch his breath. Kailara, meanwhile, moved effortlessly, but she never left his side. "You are unlike any human I have seen," she said finally, her voice quieter now. Most would have given up hours ago. Some would have screamed or begged for mercy. "I am not most humans," Ryan replied calmly. "I survive by thinking, observing, and respecting the challenges I face. Fear is natural, but it cannot control me." Kailara's eyes softened. There was a strange quality in him, something beyond courage. He had heart, intelligence, and patience, traits that were rare among visitors from other worlds, traits that she found intriguing. As they climbed higher, the path narrowed. A river of lava flowed beneath a thin bridge of rock, glowing red and unstable. Kailara stepped across first, her feet steady on the stone. Ryan followed, his hands gripping the edges, his mind calculating every movement. Halfway across, the bridge trembled. Small rocks fell into the molten river, sending sparks and steam into the air. Ryan froze for a moment, but then he adjusted his stance, using his tools to stabilize himself. Kailara watched silently, noting every decision he made. "You are cautious," she said, "not reckless. That is good. But caution alone will not save you." "I know," Ryan replied. "I must also act when needed." "Balance is important," Kailara nodded. His words impressed her. Most humans talked of balance but acted without thinking. This one, he was different. Suddenly a creature lunged from the shadows. It was larger than the others, with scales like black steel and eyes that burned like coals. Its claws scratched the bridge, threatening to push Ryan into the molten river. Kailara reacted instantly, moving to intercept the creature. Flames erupted from her skin as she struck, forcing it back. But Ryan did not retreat. He moved quickly, using a tool to create a small barrier of rock between himself and the creature. Then, with a careful maneuver, he dodged to the side, letting Kailara handle the attack. "That was clever," Kailara admitted, her voice tinged with respect. Few could act so quickly under such pressure. Ryan looked at her, breathing heavily but steady. "I learned to stay calm. Panic wastes energy and thinking time. Observation saves lives." Kailara smiled faintly. She had never heard a human speak with such wisdom. She had never seen one act with both courage and intelligence. Perhaps he could survive where others failed. The sun was high now, and the heat was nearly unbearable. Kailara led Ryan to a ledge overlooking the canyon. Below, molten rivers twisted like snakes, and strange creatures moved cautiously. Above, smoke and ash swirled in the hot wind. "Rest," Kailara said. "You have done well so far. But the path ahead is harder. Many give up here, thinking they have survived the worst. The true trial lies ahead." Ryan nodded, sitting carefully on the ledge. "Thank you. I will rest briefly, then continue." Kailara watched him. He rested, but his eyes never left the path below. His mind was sharp, always calculating, always learning. That was rare, that was human. "You have spirit," she said quietly. "Most humans lack it. You may survive this path and perhaps impress me." Ryan looked at her, surprised. "Impress you?" he asked. Kailara's eyes flickered like flames. "You are alive, human. You have faced the heat, the creatures, and the path itself. You have shown courage, patience, and respect. These are qualities I admire, even in a human." Ryan smiled faintly, though he did not fully understand the meaning behind her words. "I only do what I must to survive. That is all." Kailara's gaze lingered on him. Most humans would never have endured this long. Most would have failed. But he had not. And that fact alone made her curious, made her cautious in a way she had never been before. After a brief rest, Kailara rose. "The path continues. Are you ready?" she asked. Ryan nodded, standing with determination. "I am ready." They continued upward, moving through narrow passages of black stone and rivers of molten rock. The heat pressed on them, the creatures watched silently, and the canyon seemed endless. Yet Ryan moved carefully, always observing, always thinking. Kailara followed, occasionally testing him with sudden dangers, a falling rock, a sudden burst of steam, a hidden creature. Each time Ryan adapted. Each time he survived. Each time, Kaylara felt a growing sense of admiration. This human was not just brave. He was clever, quick-thinking, and persistent. He had heart, the kind that made him more than just a visitor. He was remarkable. As night fell over Pyrosia, the sky glowing with embers and stars, Kaylara and Rian found a small ledge to rest. Below, lava rivers glowed like veins of fire and distant creatures stirred in the heat. "You have done well," Kaylara said, her voice softer than before. "Few would have come this far." The inferno path stretched endlessly behind them, a twisting canyon of molten rock, black stone, and fierce heat. Princess Kaylara and Captain Rian had survived its challenges together, each step testing courage, focus, and determination. Now they reached a plateau near the heart of Pyrosia, where the air was thick with smoke and the ground glowed like a burning forge. Kaylara looked down the plateau with pride. "You have done well, Rian," she said, her golden eyes reflecting the fiery rivers below. "Most humans would have fallen, been scorched or panicked long before this. You have shown courage and patience, qualities I respect." Rian, exhausted but alert, nodded. "Thank you. Your guidance helped. Pyrosia is unlike any place I've ever known. Every step is a challenge," Kaylara smiled faintly. "It is not just a challenge. It is a test of spirit, and you have passed much of it already." At that moment, a distant roar echoed across the plateau. Flames leapt from fissures in the rock, and the wind carried the sound of drums, rhythmic and powerful. Kaylara's expression brightened. "You are about to witness the Festival of Flames," she said. "It is a sacred Pyrosian celebration. Only those who show bravery and respect may enter. Today you are invited, Rian." Rian blinked in surprise. "Invited? Humans are usually forbidden, right?" Kaylara's golden eyes sparkled. "Yes, but you have proven yourself worthy. Today you will see Pyrosia as few outsiders ever do. You will see courage celebrated and life honored amidst fire." As they approached the festival grounds, Kaylara explained the customs. "Pyrosians," she said, "celebrated the Festival of Flames to honor courage, wisdom, and the bond between life and fire. Participants danced on molten platforms, performed daring feats, and displayed skill in controlling flame creatures. Outsiders were rarely allowed, and humans almost never." Rian followed Kaylara into the center of the festival. He felt the heat intensify, but he did not falter. Sparks danced across the lava. Flames leapt into the air, and Pyrosians with glowing skin and fiery hair moved gracefully, performing dances and displays that seemed impossible to human eyes. The air smelled of molten rock and exotic spices carried on the hot wind. Some Pyrosians stopped to stare at the human. Whispers spread quickly. "A human?" one said. "Here?" Kaylara's expression hardened. "He is my guest," she said sharply. "Respect him, or leave." The murmurs quieted, though some eyes still showed skepticism. Rian did not falter. He walked among the crowd with careful steps, observing the displays with fascination, never losing his focus despite the danger around him. The festival reached its peak as Pyrosians performed the dance of fire, leaping from platform to platform over molten streams, twirling flames in their hands, and controlling fire creatures with precise gestures. Rian watched, amazed at the beauty and danger combined. He noticed the discipline and control required. Most humans would be terrified. He only felt awe. Kaylara led him to a central platform where the bravest Pyrosians gathered. "Here," she said, "you will witness courage at its purest. But beware, the festival is not just for display. It tests the heart as well as the skill." "Observe carefully," Rian nodded. He saw young Pyrosians performing daring leaps over molten streams, older ones manipulating fire creatures, and even elders walking across lava with grace. Every movement demanded focus, timing, and courage. One wrong step could mean serious injury, or worse. As the festival reached its climax, the sky above darkened, and the lava rivers below hissed louder. A sudden tremor shook the ground. Sparks flew from fissures, and a group of fire creatures broke free from their tethers, racing toward the crowd. Panic threatened to erupt. Rian reacted instantly. He did not hesitate. He grabbed a long tool from his pack, using it to divert the creatures, guiding them safely back toward the lava streams. His actions were precise, quick, and controlled. Kaylara's eyes widened. Few Pyrosians would act with such calm under pressure, even their own people. "You are remarkable," Kaylara said, her voice barely above the roar of the festival. "Most outsiders would panic. Most would flee, but you protect others. Rian's face was serious, but his tone remained calm. I do what I must. Fear is natural, but courage is action. Panic does nothing. The Pyrosians watched in awe. Whispers spread across the crowd. He is human, one said. He is brave. Kalara placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder. You have not only survived Pyrosia, you have proven your heart. Few have ever done what you did today. Ryan looked at her slightly embarrassed. I only reacted. You taught me to respect this place and to respect the creatures. That is what helped me act correctly. Kalara's golden eyes softened. She had never met a human with such balance of mind and heart. Others relied on strength alone or fear. He relied on thought, observation, and courage. It was rare. After the commotion settled, Kalara led him to the Chamber of Fire, a sacred arena at the center of the festival. Here the bravest of Pyrosians offered displays of skill to honor their ancestors and the planet itself. Flames danced around the arena, reflecting on molten walls and casting shadows that flickered like living beings. You may enter, Kalara said. This is a test of courage, but also respect. Watch or participate if you wish. The choice is yours. Rian studied the arena. A human would normally be terrified, yet he felt calm. He understood the danger, yet he also understood respect. Slowly he stepped forward. Kalara's eyes followed him closely, curiosity and admiration mixing in her gaze. Inside the arena, Ryan moved with caution, following the paths of Pyrosians who had practiced for years. Lava streams threatened his balance, flames leapt unpredictably, yet he navigated with precision. The crowd gasped quietly, impressed that a human dared enter the sacred arena. A Pyrosian elder, watching from above, spoke aloud. A human respects the fire. He moves with courage, not arrogance. He has heart. Kalara felt a warmth rise within her, a mix of pride and intrigue. She had expected him to hesitate or fail. Instead, he was proving himself at every step, and her admiration for him deepened. The festival continued for hours, with Ryan moving carefully among the Pyrosians, learning their ways, observing their movements, and respecting their traditions. He did not attempt to dominate or show off. He did not seek attention. He only acted with focus, care, and respect. By the time the festival reached its conclusion, the lava rivers glowed like flowing gold, and the sky was painted with embers. Kalara led Rian to the highest platform, overlooking the entire celebration. Pyrosians gathered around, their eyes filled with awe and respect. You have survived, Kalara said softly. You have shown courage, intelligence, and respect. Not many humans or even Pyrosians could do what you did today. Ryan looked at her, slightly exhausted but resolute. I did what I had to. You taught me respect, and courage followed naturally. Kalara's golden eyes held a strange light. She had never thought a human could reach this level of honor in Pyrosia. She had never imagined one could impress her so fully, and yet here he was, not a visitor, not a foreigner, but someone who had earned her attention, her admiration, and something more she did not yet understand. As the festival ended, Pyrosians returned to their homes and the lava rivers settled into their glowing paths. Kalara and Rian remained on the high platform, watching the flames below. The heat pressed around them, but it felt less threatening than before. Instead, it seemed alive, almost welcoming. You have proven yourself human, Kalara said. Tomorrow we continue. The trials are not over, but today you have earned my respect. Few beings ever do that. Rian looked at her, feeling a mix of pride and humility. Thank you, Princess. Your guidance made all the difference. I feel honored. The night over Pyrosia was alive with glowing rivers of molten lava and embers that floated through the thick, hot air. The Festival of Flames had ended, but the heat of the planet still pressed down on Princess Kalara and Captain Rian as they climbed a narrow path to the summit of fire, the tallest peak on the volcanic world. Kalara's fiery skin shone in the dim light, reflecting the molten rivers below. She moved with confidence, as she always had, but tonight there was a quiet thoughtfulness in her golden eyes. She had watched Ryan for days, seen his courage, his intelligence, and his respect for Pyrosia. But more than that, she had seen something rare in him, a heart that was unshakable even in the face of danger. You have done well, she said softly, breaking the silence. Most humans would have failed. Most would have given up or panicked or run, but you stood your ground, faced every trial, and even helped others along the way. Rian glanced at her, a faint smile on his face despite exhaustion. I only did what I thought was right, he said. Fear does not stop me. Survival does not stop me. And respect. Respect guides me. Kalara nodded slowly. Few beings, Pyrosian or otherwise, have your balance. Strength, courage, intelligence, and heart. You are remarkable, Rian. He looked at her, a little surprised by her words. Thank you, Princess. That means more than I can say. The summit was near. The path narrowed, rocks glowing bright from the heat, and the wind carried embers that flickered around them like tiny stars. At the very top, a sacred hot spring waited, a pool of water so hot it steamed endlessly. Pyrosians considered it a place of reflection, a place to honor bravery, and a place where bonds were sealed. Kalara stepped forward and gestured toward the spring. This is where the bravest of Pyrosians come to be acknowledged. Today, you have earned this recognition. Few outsiders and no humans have ever reached this place with honor. Ryan followed cautiously. The spring's edges glowed softly, but the water's heat could burn if touched incorrectly. Yet he did not hesitate. He trusted her guidance and his own instincts. You have seen my people, the festival, the dangers, Kalara said. You have proven your courage and your respect. But courage is not only about surviving fire or lava. It is also about understanding connection, trust, and honor. You have shown all of these, and for that, I honor you. Rian paused, his gaze moving from the glowing water to her face. There was sincerity in her eyes, something deeper than admiration. Something that made his heart beat faster. Princess, I am honored, he said. I have never been treated with such respect on another world. Kalara stepped closer, the heat of her presence warming the air between them. You are not like other humans, she said, her voice low and steady. You are brave, yes. But more importantly, you are worthy of trust. You are worthy of... Ryan's eyes widened. He could feel the weight of her words, the fire in her gaze, and the intensity of the moment. Me? He asked quietly. Yes, she said, stepping even closer. Her golden eyes held a light that matched the molten rivers below. No human or alien has ever reached my heart this way. But you have. You dared when no one else would. You respected when others would not, and you earned it. The air between them shimmered, a mix of heat, steam, and something unspoken yet powerful. Kalara reached out her hand and Rian took it instinctively. His hand felt warm in hers, a steady presence against the molten world around them. For a long moment they simply looked at each other. No words were needed. The fire in her eyes, the calm in his, and the respect between them spoke louder than anything else. Then, with a deliberate motion, Kalara leaned closer. Her fiery hair swirled around them like flames, and the heat from her skin brushed against Ryan's face. He held his breath as she drew near, a single heartbeat stretching into eternity. And then, softly, deliberately, Kalara kissed him. The kiss was not just a gesture. It was a statement, a bond, and a recognition of everything they had faced together. It spoke of trust, courage, and mutual admiration. For a brief moment, the molten rivers below seemed to glow brighter, and the wind carried the sound of embers dancing like applause. Ryan's hands rose to her shoulders, steady and gentle. He did not hesitate. He did not falter. He returned her gesture with equal respect and care. The world around them could have been dangerous, chaotic, or burning, yet at that moment there was only connection. Only trust. Only courage. When they finally separated, both were slightly breathless, the heat of the spring and the intensity of the moment mingling with their own emotions. Kalara's golden eyes held admiration, something rare and deep. You have done what no other human or Pyrosian has done, she said softly. You have reached my heart with courage, that is powerful. Ryan smiled faintly, still catching his breath. I only followed my instincts, Princess, but I am honored to have reached yours. Kalara looked out over the molten rivers below. She knew there would be consequences. The Pyrosians had never seen a human honored in this way. Some would question her judgment. Some might even oppose it, but she did not care. She had seen the heart of this human. She had seen courage, respect, and determination that no one else had shown, and that mattered more than rules or tradition. You will face challenges, she said, turning back to him. Some Pyrosians will not approve. Some dangers will continue, but I will defend you. I will stand by you, and you will continue to prove that humans can have heart and courage equal to any Pyrosian. Rian nodded. I will, and I will continue to learn. Pyrosia has taught me much, but there is still more. With your guidance, I hope to grow stronger, wiser, and Worthy of your trust. Kalara's eyes flickered like molten gold. You are already worthy, but we shall see how much further you can go. Courage is never finished, Ryan. It grows, like fire, when fed with respect, action, and heart. They remained at the summit for a long while, standing side by side. The hot springs steamed around them, the molten rivers glowed below, and the stars above Perosia reflected like diamonds in the night sky. It was a moment of peace, a moment of recognition, and a moment that would forever change both of them. The princess with fiery skin had kissed the human who dared, and that act had bridged the gap between worlds. It was not just a kiss, it was a statement that courage, respect, and heart could surpass even the boundaries of planet, species, or tradition. Kalara finally spoke again, her voice soft but firm. Tomorrow we continue. The world is not yet tamed. Challenges remain. But tonight we celebrate what we have achieved. Your courage has earned respect, admiration, and more than you may realize. Ryan looked at her, understanding the depth of her words. Then we will face the rest together, he said, his voice steady. Side by side. I will not falter, Kalara's eyes glowed. She had faced centuries of danger, challenge, and rule. She had seen countless visitors, warriors, and strangers. None had touched her heart. None had earned her respect as this human had, and now, she knew that with him even the impossible could become possible. The night deepened. The lava rivers shimmered below. The hot springs steamed around them. And two figures, one human, one Pyrosian princess with skin like fire, stood together, bonded by courage, respect, and an unspoken connection that promised adventure, trust, and perhaps something more. The kiss of courage had sealed their bond, and the world of Pyrosia, dangerous and fiery, seemed a little warmer, a little brighter, and a little more welcoming than ever before. Tomorrow new trials awaited. But tonight, they had faced the fire, survived, and discovered the power of heart, respect. The first light of Perosia's sun stretched across the volcanic plains, casting a golden glow over the rivers of molten lava. Steam rose from cracks in the black stone, swirling in the hot morning air. Princess Kalara and Captain Ryan stood atop the summit of fire, gazing down at the world below. They had survived the inferno path, endured the festival of flames, and discovered a bond forged in courage and trust. Kalara's fiery skin reflected the rising sun. Her hair flickered like flames, and her golden eyes shone with pride and something softer, admiration, perhaps even affection. She had ruled Perosia for centuries, and yet in all that time, she had never met a human like Ryan. He had proven himself in ways she had never imagined. Brave, clever, and respectful, qualities that even Pyrosians struggled to master. Ryan stood beside her, exhausted but steady. The trials had tested his body and mind, but he had endured, guided by instinct, intelligence, and the lessons Kalara had shared. He looked at the fiery landscape with awe, not fear. He had survived the impossible, earned the respect of a world that rejected outsiders, and touched the heart of a princess who was untouchable to nearly everyone. Tomorrow, Kalara said softly, we return to the city. There your courage and actions will be recognized by my people. Many will doubt, many will question, but you have earned your place among them. Ryan nodded. I understand. I only hope they see what you and I have already discovered, that respect and courage are more important than fear or tradition. Kalara smiled faintly. You are wise, human. Many do not understand this, even among Pyrosians, but today you have shown them what it means to have heart. The journey down from the summit was long and challenging. Lava rivers twisted unpredictably. Rocks shifted beneath their feet, and the heat pressed down like a living thing. Yet Ryan moved carefully, observing, learning, and respecting the land. Kalara followed closely, her admiration growing. Humans rarely adapted so well, rarely showed such balance of courage and intelligence. He was extraordinary. As they descended, they encountered a group of Perosian elders who had come to witness the return of their princess and her companion. Their eyes widened at the sight of Ryan. Whispers spread quickly. A human, alive, alongside the princess. Many could not believe it. Kalara raised her hand. He is not just alive, she said firmly. He has proven himself. He has shown courage, intelligence, and respect for Perosia. He is worthy of recognition. The elders exchanged uncertain glances. They had seen few humans survive even a fraction of the challenges Ryan had faced. Yet Kalara's word carried authority. Slowly, the murmurs quieted. One elder stepped forward. "Princess, you claim this human has earned respect. Many of us have doubted, but your judgment is wise. If you say he is worthy, then we will honor him." Ryan bowed slightly. "Thank you. I only acted as I thought was right. Your world, your people, and your planet deserve respect. That is all." Kalara's golden eyes met his, shining with pride. He was not boastful, not arrogant. He acted with heart, and that heart had carried him through fire and danger. When they reached the city, the Pyrosians had gathered to witness the return of their princess and her companion. Lava torches lined the streets, casting flickering light on the glowing buildings. Crowds of Pyrosians stared in awe at Ryan, whispering about the human who had walked the Inferno path, survived the Festival of Flames, and earned the respect of their princess. Kalara led him to the central square where the elders awaited. "People of Pyrosia," she announced, her voice clear and commanding. "Today we honor courage, heart, and respect. This human, Captain Rian, has faced our trials, respected our world, and proven himself worthy. Let him stand among us as an example of bravery and honor." The crowd was silent for a moment. Then slowly, applause and cheers rose, echoing across the city. Pyrosians who had doubted began to nod, recognizing the human's courage. Children pointed in awe, elders whispered in admiration, and the fiery sky seemed to glow brighter in approval. Ryan stood tall, humbled, but proud. He had never expected such recognition, but he understood its meaning. This was not just about honor. It was about trust, courage, and bridging worlds. Humans and Pyrosians were different, yet in this moment they shared respect and understanding. Kalara approached him, her golden eyes softening. "You have done more than survive, Ryan. You have shown my people what courage truly means. And for that, I honor you." Ryan met her gaze. "I only followed what I believed was right, but your guidance made all the difference." For a moment, the city seemed to hold its breath, the human and the princess side by side, symbols of courage and unity. Pyrosians looked on, realizing that trust and heart could surpass fear, tradition, and even centuries of isolation. Kalara smiled faintly. "There is one more trial," she said quietly, leaning closer. "Not of fire, not of danger, but of trust. It is simple, yet profound. It is a gesture that seals the bond between two who have faced the impossible together." Rian tilted his head, understanding her meaning. "Then, I am ready." Kalara stepped closer, the heat of her skin brushing his arm. Her hair flickered like flames in the torchlight. Slowly, deliberately, she placed her hand on his cheek. Ryan's hand rose instinctively, steadying hers. "Courage is more than facing fire," she whispered. "It is also about the heart. You have shown me both." And then once more, Kalara kissed him. The crowd fell silent, but no one moved to interrupt. This was a private bond, yet it was also public recognition. The kiss spoke of respect, admiration, and the courage to trust another across worlds. Ryan returned the kiss, gentle and sincere. He had faced fire, lava, and danger, but this was different. This was trust, honor, and the recognition that courage extended beyond physical trials. It extended into heart and spirit. When they separated, Kalara's golden eyes glowed with warmth. "You have earned more than respect, Ryan. You have earned my trust, my admiration, and perhaps my heart." Rian smiled faintly. "Then I will continue to be worthy, Princess. I will honor Pyrosia, your people, and you." The crowd erupted into cheers once more, celebrating not just a human's courage, but the union of trust and respect between two worlds. Pyrosians and humans could be different, yet in heart and action, they could achieve understanding, friendship, and unity. The elders approached, nodding in approval. "Captain Rian," one said, "you have faced fire and heart alike. Pyrosia honors you, and so do we. May your courage inspire generations to come." Ryan bowed humbly. "Thank you. I am honored beyond words. I only hope my actions can continue to reflect the lessons I have learned here." Kalara's hand rested on his arm. "You have already done more than I expected. Together we will face whatever comes next. Pyrosia is yours to respect, and mine to share with you." The sun rose higher,